if this works. There's not that much light. Okay. Do we have any? If this is. Oh, let's see. Oops. What's wrong? Okay, that seems pretty good. Okay, let's see how much it actually gets from this angle. Let's see. Oh, that looks pretty good. It gets to there. Right there. Well, I couldn't get it further out, but okay. That's okay, I guess. Let's try to turn that off here. Now let's get a little gas here. There we go. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So I'm just testing some stuff here. The mobile probably will get to heat at some point. I could take the... well, let's just do that. Let's just take this fan thing up here and see if we can get it up. Let's take it out here. Up here. Okay. And there's to get some. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I guess it gets a little. I don't know how far it will go on, but anyway. So here we have some of the things here, and we'll just and my Anderson plug. There we go. So it starts to charge. And we can see on the USB things that I fixed that it's going around 200, so that would be 8 amps. This one is. So I have 2 of these, and we'll see how the heat and all that. I fixed some color thing on this one. This one actually, I don't know why I actually took that, because I could take one of the others. This one is not so good. Let's take that instead. And I'll just have them running for some time. This one, put this over here. Oh, it's really, really hard, that's for sure. Of course, this will produce a little more heat as well. Where are these cables from? I think it's an angle. In regards to the batteries are pretty good. In regards of, even if they're plastic, it seems to be pretty good in regards of transferring, in regards of heat. Although that's only male, not female, so that's a problem. I have a couple of other kinds of males. Oh, that's already hot one. I only have 2 females at the moment, so yeah. That's around 100. It has more here going into the system. I guess we have some really small wire that takes a hit on the power. Not a surprise, of course. Variants of 500-600 problem with this thing in regards of the small wires. So I'm going to see if I can look into some bigger things or something like that. But I've kind of burned the secondary USB thing, and I burned the Bluetooth DC thing, so I burned a lot of things off in regards to that, testing things here and there. Of course, one of them was a mistake. Sending 200 watts through a 15 watt plug and going a bit backward. Anyway, wow, it's hot inside. Oh well, alright, this one. I wonder how far it actually. Oh, well, that's typical. We close down the. That's typical, of course, that's the bullshit things of the. We close down the. Let's see here how far we actually have in regards of. I can pretty much see this one. I can see what lays here. Okay. And I guess I can go further in. There we go. So I can see these. Oh, that's. Oh, it's around there, I think. Uh-oh. Oh, I guess it's easier to see the. Let's give it 400. Oops. So 400 at the moment. And now it got out of focus. I don't know why. That was perfect focus, and then we just go off focus. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. What this bullshit. Is it ever going to get into focus? Apparently not. Let's try to. No, still not. Why would it go out of focus? Apparently we need to do it ourselves, I guess. There we go. Manual focus. Wonderful. Let's see here. Is that too much? That's too much at least. On 300. Wait. Still see the numbers on the testers, so I don't know, 800. Still possible, but it makes it a little harder. There we go. Anyway, so I fixed this little thing, and I tried to move it as far as I could outwardly, this direction. So still not perfect, but so here we have the charging device going over this one, going over this one, and going into the system. 8 amps. Now some of these should become pretty hot. I will see. I guess it's sad that I don't have a heating camera to test it with. So this feels already pretty hot. This one actually feels less hot than the other, and it doesn't really have much. It still feels hot, but okay, let's see. I still feel like this is way hotter. I don't know why. I have extra copper on that one, so that's a good question. Maybe it's this one that makes it. Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, this one I can. Yeah, it's still getting hot. Nah. Yeah, this one is at least getting hot. Then the question is this the thing? Is it the cable that makes it so hot? Oh, that's hot. Let's try this one. Yeah, it still gets hot, but I think this is better, although it still gets hot. I still have my fingers on it. So it can't be that hard, but it is hard. But let's try this other one. Let's see here. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Yeah, this is hard. Oh my. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to. Let's just take this one. Take this one off. Well, that's going to be a little difficult, isn't it? Let's see. There we go. Take this one. Put this over here instead. In there. And this one. Let's say 185 into the unit, it says. Of course it does have a little in regards of usage and all that. So we go from 197 to 170, oh sorry, 197 to 119, 185 into the system. Okay. So. Oh, is that still on? Or is it automatic? Or? There we go. It's just the nonsense of these things that they made to Android 8. Uh-oh. So, there we go. It's a little easier to see the numbers. That would be easier to actually have some kind of. This is pretty nice, you know. This over here. This is the heat block, you know. It's it gets hot, of course, but it's, you know, I would expect it to get hot when you have 8 amps, you know. It's okay. This one. It's not that. It's still getting hot. For sure, but it's. I wonder in regards to this copper thing if that actually works. The copper in itself doesn't seem to get that hot, so I don't know if that. It gets a little. Still is down here that. Okay, let's try this one. Well, it doesn't seem too bad, but the plastic doesn't like it. It's like getting very soft, this plastic fantastic, so this is not a good. It becomes soft and it is hot. Okay, so right here. Yeah, this one I think gets hotter than the other one. This is a losing. I guess it's not a biggie when you. Well, it's not. It's not a biggie because I don't run 200 watts normally. It's just to test the maximum. So usually you wouldn't have. This get hot. Maybe it's just the first one that just gets. Maybe it could be the tester actually. Wow, that's hot. I guess this is also hot, but still. No, it is also hot. Okay. And there are two different testers here. There's the C4 Hill and there's the C4. And of course the C4 Hill I put extra copper on it. I haven't put extra copper on the other one yet. But it is hot. Wow, it's hot. just nonsense that. And of course it didn't do that on Android 7. At least we haven't had any things in regards to heat issues. We can lower the fan a little higher. It's pretty hot. Oops, that was the wrong button. There we go. A little more fan. There we go. Excellent. Maybe a little too much, but maybe that's too so much noise anyway. 23 volts, 24 volts. I'm sick and tired of it. Let's see here. Camera mode, camera view, video settings. That's fine. Let's try that, I guess. That shouldn't do anything. Let's set down the camera nonsense. Let's see here. Okay. We still need to. Let's see here. I can't even remember which was what. What's this one? It's to go over here. Seems to be pretty good. That doesn't look so bad. You can actually see I haven't even done anything. Maybe it could be a little. Let's just zoom. I'll have a little more. actually stop it from, this is exposure lock. Oh, there we go. Locked, maybe? Focus locked. Oh, yeah. I don't know what that is. Flash off. Focus macro. Focus infinity. Focus auto. Focus continue VRS. That's just focus locked. Okay. There we go. That should do it, I think. Great. Focus locked. That's pretty good. So far so good, I guess. Not too bad. Oh my god. Let's see. 185 watts. There's the manual for the female distance around here. There's the lead around there. it's easy to see, but it doesn't have the right color coding. Hopefully they can fix that. Besides that, it's pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with them. They work, and they seem to be able to work for what I was thinking about, although, you know, they can get a little hot if you run at maximum. Although, usually, it's not usually not maximum that it's going to go through anyway, so this is, you know, these are the best conditions in some sense to, besides the batteries, of course. I haven't really, its batteries can be get a little more. Okay, anyway, so that's, oh yeah, this feels really good. Well, that's the hot, this female, I don't know what's in the female clocks, but apparently, so it's not only this one that gets, it's the female clock that seems to be, I have to find something that might be useful. The male clock seems to be pretty good. It's the female clock that is less good. So, but, I don't know. It's, I'm not burning, but I'm nearly burning. Let's try this one again. I guess it must have something in regards to this one. I'm heating it up because this does seem to be hotter than the other one. Yeah. Yeah, this one does seem to be hotter than this one. But it's not like it's totally cold either. But clearly this one is hotter, so it must be getting some of the heat from this one throughout. So I could fix a further cooling up lots of you put it into things and all that. It might be wrong. Having on that side, at least. I don't think I can have it on the other side because you have it's the only side you can get. It's going to be cold. This is plastic, fantastic. It's feeling like it's going to melt. So, yeah, it's not bad. You know, it's working. It's just okay. I still think this is pretty much the winner. In regards to the meal blocks anyway, and I have a good amount of these. I have a whole cable more here, for example. I think I have a cable more. And they still have the standard, I think 4 connectors or something like that, with all these other kind of blocks I bought, which was a total mistake, I guess. Apparently standard male clocks that are really good, and you have the standard plus and minus, black and red, and the rest can pretty much be discarded, and then you have all you need. But in the newer clocks it's much more advanced. So I tested different cables and I found what I thought was the best cable, but then I looked into it and it was apparently way too complicated. This was the clock that seemed to be the winner. But then I open it up and it's like multiple cables of, so like, that's the red ones, okay. And then there's the minus ones. I found some of them, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. It's a mess. That would be nice to figure that out, but it's a mystery as far as it goes for now. Here we have another cable. We have the plus and the minus here, it seems. Oh, I don't know why I haven't seen this. Oh, I haven't fixed the coding off yet. This is a female cable as well. It seems to be pretty much ready to be tested. Where's the? Well, I guess. Where's the? Where's this one? I had another one, but I guess there we go. Just fix this one. Something says boom or something like that. Bang, I guess that was wrong then. It begins to smoke. That's somewhat. I don't want to use the word. Yeah, it's just not good. It begins to smoke. And something didn't go right. There we go. Let's try this out. This USB A, no, that's probably. No, this is the USB-C. It's okay. That's just USB-C. Something has a USB for something. I don't know what. I have two cables at least. Might be useful at some point. Here I have one of these. I think I've already plugged one of these off. I think that's this one. And the plus and minus in regard to this. need to get some of these USB-C where you can put your own wires on it, because I think you can actually put some bigger wires than what they usually, I only need the plastic ones. Come on. This one. It's not the best tools I have for this. see the standard cables in the. You don't see all these highly sophisticated. Here's the plus and minus, plus and minus. And the rest we have the green and the. I think it's the green and the white. That is data. And the blue, I think, is brown. Not entirely sure, but I think it is. And apparently these newer ones, they seem to be using some kind of different language. It's just these should have light up, but they don't because it's burned. Apparently the USB-A couldn't do what I maybe thought they could, so they burned apparently. But the USB-A's or USB-C's are still working. So, but sadly, not these are the ones that are dead. USB-A, you can't get into it. It's just there's no screws or anything like that. It's just a compact thing which apparently has broken. Pretty sad about that as well. Although again the USB-C are working. I have an old USB-C as well connected to the battery tester at the moment, or charger. So because the battery seems to have some issues, things. Although they look like looks pretty good. Yeah, so sounds like 600. That's fine. Let's try this one. Let's see, just. No, it does seem to. That's interesting. The one. There's something wrong with this battery. Apparently, okay, that's also one of the burned over. So that's. Yeah, there's something wrong with this battery. Well, let's try to test it anyway. We can always have an explosion or something like that. But it seems like both the batteries don't light up anymore, so I guess something happened to these as well. So lots of things burning off when you're testing things. I also made these as USB-C, where you made it into 20 volts into this, and then you can run the C-ROM drive. Apparently, this is a step down thing. That was a mistake, but anyway, this is another step down, and you have the 20 volt. I tried different things for my vacuum cleaner. Didn't really find anything that really worked really good until I got this one. This one was wonderful. Well, this one is wonderful, and it still needs one of these, which is also a 20 volt USB-C, a handshake, as they call it apparently. It sends the information in regards to the voltage, and it says I want 20 volts and 20 volts into this, and then it fixes it to 22.5, I think, something of that nature, and put it into the vacuum cleaner. And you can also adjust the amperage, which is really important. Apparently it's called current in English. You can adjust the current, which is very important for the vacuum cleaner because apparently it can't control itself. So, and I've been having a little difficulty actually finding things that actually can control the amperage or current, but I think I'm on the right way now. So, apparently I only got one of these. I have a big one as well, but you can't control the amperage. Sadly, I haven't been able to find anything else to use it for. It's like, like a metal square, so that's really wonderful in regards to getting some protection and all that, but I haven't found anything I can use it for, so it's kind of bad. Anyway, I guess there's some, I don't know what that was for. Who knows? Oh well. Still looking for some things that I, some bips and bobs or whatever it's called, that's gone. I can't find. I guess maybe they will show up. Maybe not. Let's see. One of them is one of these small clocks. I tested all of them, and found the ones that really. I can't find the one that chose. So this is the secondary thing in regards to it, but it must be somewhere. Probably is somewhere. Yeah. Question is where. I made these wonderful Anderson blocks. Took me a little time, and it's not perfect, but it's what it is. I guess it's still on. Try that continuous focus or something like that. No, that didn't really work. Focus macro, not sure what that is, but anyway, that seems to be working pretty good. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that looked pretty good. So that's my Anderson hub in some sense, and you can see downwards. I fixed all these cables, and I found out that it wasn't, you have to be careful in regards to the outer coating when you pull it, because the wires are so small, so you end up pulling the coating off. So if you can, I think it actually would be smart to, when you splice the, no, not splice, when you crimp when you crimp it, you want to have some of the plastic into the crimp, because then the plastic don't go out from where it is. So I don't know if it's a good thing overall, but it seems like if you don't want to pull the plastic off when you take the coating off the other side, you want to crimp the plastic with it as well. I don't think you would have any problem with that, but as far as I can't remember if that's something, but when you make these small things and all that, it's just annoying to see that the copper is seen. It's really hard to actually, it's really hard to see that I actually have some of the copper revealed, because it's really hard to see. But there are some, if you actually, it's pretty much impossible to see here. But if you sit with it, you can see that there's some of the things where the copper begins too early in my taste. Now it's not a biggie issues, and there probably won't be happening anything in regards of it, but it's just a thing, So, but yeah, I made this, and I found out that I also could fix 12 volts from the USB-C to this, actually by using a 20 volt handshake. But then you have to, the 20 volt handshake, you have to either fix it into, well, maybe not, because I apparently burned it off. In regards to the USB-A, I thought, I found something, I can use the USB-A for this. Well, I burned it off, so don't do that apparently. But you can also do it with the USB-C, if you have an adapter. It actually will go down to 12 volts, although you probably should check it before actually. But then you can actually, it seems to use a 20 volt handshake, and it sends the signal to this one, and apparently fixes 12 volts, because it apparently sees that it's a USB-A adapter or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, because as far as I understand it, this one actually doesn't support USB 12 volts, 12 volts. But apparently it does seem to be able to fix 12 volt anyway, so I don't know. Apparently some of these USB-Cs usually don't support 12 volts apparently, which is bad, because USB-C does support 12 volts, but apparently manufacturers apparently skip the most used voltage, I guess, that is very, like all these are 12 volts, like the car thing, and over here you have 12 volts, so you have 3 12 volts on the Blue Yeti here. So if you have 12 volts here, you actually had it running the computer and the screen and the CD-ROM drive, which I think was pretty much pressing it to its outermost, and maybe why it burned off, I guess. It's actually possible to actually do through the USB. That's interesting. Anyway, I have some further testing. It's smarter to do it through the USB-C up clearly. So okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, let's see how hot it is. That's hot. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, that's hot. And this one, it's also it's hot. It's hot. It's, you know, even if it's the male plug, it's hot. Okay, it's pretty hot. Okay, let's see what we have here over here. Yeah, but this is the secondary, so but yeah, it still feels like it's going to melt, you know. But apparently it's not melting, but it feels like the plastic is really beginning to sweat. Yeah. Oh, it's, yeah. The unit is pretty hot, that's for sure. Sadly, there's no Celsius thing in regards of it. These shouldn't really be hot, no. Maybe a little, but it's not much. I guess in regards to the small cables and all that, it might produce a little heat, but yeah. You have, oh wow, that was hot. Well, besides that, they're pretty interesting, you know. They seem to work pretty good, you know. So I just put them together with some glue, and that works pretty good. You know, you know, they don't come like this. So I just fixed them with some glue. That was actually pretty good. So we also have over here. Well, we can show it off, I guess. So what you do is, this is for the charging of the batteries over here. So we'll see if we can. I have the plug. Let's put it in, and at the moment I put it in, it should turn on. And that has another fan in here. So it's pretty noisy, all of it, pretty much. And I guess the fan for the mobile was up there, because usually the mobile is having a problem in regards to the heat. So and that's pretty much, there's another battery in there. And oh, that's the, you know, these have become my favorite cables now. This is the old version. I have the new version over here. Oh yeah. These are very nice. Yeah, well, it's pink, I know, but very nice. These are 100 watts cables, and they're pretty good. And you have like these. You can actually use these as charging batteries, small batteries. Well, pretty much I have another way of charging them at the moment. I've fixed multiple connectors here. Like you have the connection there, then you have one there, and another one, and another one, and another one, and there you go. There you go. So, and it's usually not usual, but I've connected it to the fan now, you know. So you connect it to the fan, but at the moment the fan is up there, so it's usually standing. Well, not usually. It's pretty new still, but I found out this was pretty good. Now this is not the best cable, but it's okay. And here's another one you can use for batteries. But anyway, that's the way I did it. There's a little room on this one that you can actually put them in when this stands off, which usually is the hole that it's put in. But here we have, this is one of these where you can also fix it to a little. And I'm pretty, you know, this one is not the fastest. This is for USB-A. So that was a, you know, so you can see it connecting for the USB-A to an adapter again into USB-C. So yeah. These are pretty hot. You know, these things that are on the table. And you have to be careful. They become very hot. Nothing is burning, at least, you know. So, but they get pretty hot. I have some other, you know. I was thinking of fixing a copper thing here. A centimeter measurement thing rod, a measurement rod, and just you can get those in copper. And then I could also use the measuring rod as a thing to put one of these on, as kind of you know, for the heat, you know, whatever, you know. I don't know how that will work. It could be interesting to feel the rod, how far it actually gets hot, you know, in regards to the copper, because copper is very good to transfer heat. So it'll be interesting to see if actually the heat went through the whole thing, or I don't know. Could be interesting. Anyway, so well, that's a future thing. So that's the old slim device that I've, you know, it uses around 3 to 7 watts. And the screen I found thrown out. I also have some, what do you call it, editing thing behind. Let's have a look. It's really hard to see, I guess. There we go. So that's how it looks. So yeah, I just found one of the, you know, there wasn't any plug for it, and it runs, you know, it's set to be, what is 13, 14 volts or something like that, but it can still run on 12 volts. Also had it run on 15 volts or something like that. But it's running, it's not using too much energy. It has these energy stamp thing, and that's, yeah, it's pretty decent. Can we see it? Is it going to... Oh, let's see there, I guess. Energy thing. Here we have the Anderson box with all the Anderson things. You know, if you're going to get some plugs, just get some Anderson. You have the thing down there, and then you have the Anderson. And here you have the metal thing that I have. I haven't really found anything to use it for, and I have some step downs in the 2 other boxes with, you know, so anyway. You know, it gets kind of a, and there we have the old PD thing. It just, at the moment, it's just plugged to this one, because my DC output doesn't work in this machine at the moment because I ruined it. So I've ruined that one. I ruined the USB A's down here. Yeah. Hopefully I can fix the blue edge here or something like that. I've also edited some holes in it, so it's much easier for it to blow oxygen out and get it in on the other side. So you have this one, you know. This is actually connected to these two. It's the batteries for the mobile batteries there, and mobile charger. And then this one runs, well, it connects to another cable, and that cable is this one, and that's connected to one of these USB-C to barrel thing to the laptop, and I've found one that worked. So that's like a 20 volt thing, and it works pretty good. When you fix everything in the, you know, sometimes you need to flip the cable or whatever and do things still, even if it's USB-C and all that. But these are 60 watts cables. The other one, the green one thing, is 100 watt. Although the laptop only seems to be going around 58 watts when it's maximum. And so, but anyway. So I use this one for my CD-ROM drive, and that's another one where I just put, you know, multiple adapters on it. You know, one adapter and then another adapter, and then, you know, USB-A to USB-C, USB-C female to USB-C female, and then connected with a USB-C. So this one is 240 watts thing, whatever. I don't know in regards to the lightning thing and all, whatever, you know. But it's working, you know. It's actually working with all these adapters. Every time you have an adapter or thing or cable or something like that, there can be compatible issues, and well, apparently that seems to work pretty good as well. So apparently, yeah, some of the things just seems to work. That's nice. I need to make these at some point. Now, of course, this one. This is for 12 volt. I need to have some pretty good, you know, you don't have so big cables here. So I need to see if I can get some bigger cables, at least in this one. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if, do I actually have enough of that cable? Oh yeah, I have the cable up here, that's true. I already have cable fixed to see if I can, you know, if I could get that cable into one of these small plugs. So I don't know, we'll see. I can't remember how big cables it is. I took the biggest cable I could pretty much fix to the Anderson plugs, but I tried first with a bigger one and that didn't really go, so I had to go down in size, and you really have to be a little, but it can be done. I think it's 2 mm2 or something like that. So you have 4 mm2 or something like that together, and you know, they should be able to do 6 mm2 if you take the biggest ones, but I can't remember which one I tried first. It's this AWG gauge format of the US, and that's not always easy to figure out. Anyway, that one goes on and on and on. You can see how hot it is and all that, and that charges those two batteries, 24 volts, and the batteries can charge the Blue Yeti. So the idea, at least for now, although it's, you know, the idea is later on to get a controller that actually charges the batteries, and from the batteries charging the Blue Yeti. But anyway, we'll see how that goes and all that. Always things to where you think, you know, maybe you can make it would also be nice if the batteries could actually control the current that goes over in the Blue Yeti, because the Blue Yeti starts the fans when it gets to around 89, well, I think it's 91 watts in. It seems to be a little different, but I think it's around 91 watts that it begins to use the fans, and of course that will use, you know, if it uses 2 fans, that will of course use some energy. And you rather don't want to have that happening. So one way, if it's charging those, it could just, you know, seep, what do you call it, seep energy over to this one. So when the solar panels are running in the day and all that, you know, they probably won't make these full or anything like that for a long shot. But if you can just make them just charge whatever and put it into this, and then from this one put the amperage that you want over in this one, you know, like control the current, and say maybe I don't only want to have 4 amps running from the batteries to the Blue Yeti or something like that. It has to be, well, maybe less, 3.5 amps or something like that. Maybe I want 3.5 amps running from the batteries over to the Blue Yeti, so that can continually flow into the Blue Yeti without starting the fans. Now, of course, I will need to test that further in regards to when the fan starts and stops and all that. Of course, there's other things that can begin the fans if you pull things out of the 230 volts or are charging 100 watts in regards of batteries and all that. But overall, you know, if you can save some energy and all that, and you know, if it just continues to charge in the night or whatever, that doesn't really have a continual charge, that could be pretty good. Anyway, so that's still running, and we can also see the Blue AT screen here. So the input is 184 and the output is 202. I'm actually not sure if I actually stop charging it. I think the fans will stop. Let's try to take out the power here. Oh, that's also, by the way, see here. Oh my. Yeah, I think it stopped. Yep, it stopped. That's really hard for you to hear, I guess. But yeah, it stopped. So 200 output shouldn't really be a big problem. I'm not entirely sure when it begins to go out, because I haven't been able to, check that. But at least 200 watts doesn't seem to start it up in regards to the voltage or the 230 volts. So it's just the input that makes it begin to fix the... Yeah, we still have some heat here. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Over here. Oh my. Yeah, they get very, very hot. But again, this is where I have like the charging device. So this is like, worst case scenario. And I really don't have that when I'm running the solar panel. So this is just maxing it out pretty much. To see how they do, and if they can run this, then I can of course run the solar panels without any problems, because the solar panels gets to around 120 watts. I've seen it maximum, I've seen it 160 at some point, but that's still 40 watts less than what we have here. Normally you see around 120 watts maximum from the solar panels. So that's... Yeah, the female plugs are... But over here it's just way hotter than over here. I still don't know, because there's not much difference in regards to watts, but still, apparently, it makes a pretty huge difference in regards to the heat. In regards to over here, where it goes in, compared to over here, even if it's not much, we're talking about 7 watts difference. A little less amps, a little less voltage, a little less watts, and yet it seems to be on the female side, seems to be much less. This one is like burning hot work, and like, wow. But this one I can actually touch, I can actually sit here and touch it. And you just think maybe this is better than the other one, because I can touch this, but maybe not if I flip it around. Okay. I'll try to flip it around. Let's stop it over here. I'll take this one. Oh, that's way too hot. I'll stop it there. It's the best thing that I've found in regards to all these things. I think they're made for 600 volts or something like that. Of course, I'm not running 600 volts, but and up to 45 amps. You can't even feel that they're being used. These Anderson, they're just cold. Maybe a little, maybe this. It's not really. It's nothing. It's just they're really nice compared to some of the other plugs that I've tried and tested. Like the 8mm barrel thing that is with the Blue AT. I don't get this, just it gets hot, And the small barrel things, they can only handle 5 amps. The Lego boxes, or whatever you want to call them, the Lego or electric Lego only do 2.5 amps. box of Anderson's box or something like that. And like this is my, this was my first box, and I bought a bigger box, and I just fixed it because I actually like the smaller box better in regards of where to put the things and all that. So I took the rest of the things that was in the big box and put it over in the small box, and this is my Anderson block in a box. So you have the middle things, you have the bigger ones, the smaller ones. If you can, you want to use the, because that, you know, when you buy a box, there's more of these middle guys than there are of the small. So you want to use the bigger ones when you can, when you just can fix the cover a little bit or something like that, because you want to have the small ones when you really have small wires that you really, so, but these are like, I think it's 15 amps, and what's that, 35 or 30 amps and 45. It doesn't really matter because I'm not over 8 amps, and all of them fits the housing, and you can plug them together and all that. Like 15 amps is more than enough, you know, 15 amps. And probably the wires can't even handle that, you know. So probably the wires that will, in regards of when you put these small things, but they all lock together and all that. And I took a magnet with these small guys, so if you don't want them to have them, you know, their parents